Hello students, myself Popere KS, Assistant Professor Botany of Red Shikshan Sanstha's RBNB College, Sri Rampur. Okay, so in last lecture we have discussed about the TYBSc paper second BO 332 Cell and Molecular Biology. Okay, so we have discussed about the chapter first of that paper second. Okay, what we have discussed in that, we have discussed about the definition, history, scope and importance of molecular biology and central dogma. Now in this lecture we will move to our next topic, that is chapter second, and in that we are going to start first with the characteristics of a genetic material. Okay, so first moving to the topic, we will discuss what is genetic material. Okay, so what is genetic material? It is the hereditary material which is present in the organism. Okay, so it might be different in different organism. Okay, suppose there are DNA and RNA. These are the, we can say, macromolecules which act as genetic material. Okay, mostly all the eukaryotic organism, they have DNA as genetic material. Like animals and plant, they have DNA as genetic material. Okay, and in certain viruses, RNA will act as a genetic material. Okay, now we will start with this topic, that is characteristics of a genetic material. So what are the different characteristics genetic material should have? So first is the storage of genetic information. Okay, so what does it mean? The genetic material, it should have a property of storing the genetic information. Okay, so genetic material should have ability to store the genetic information regarding the structure, function, development and reproduction of all the living organism. Okay, so it has the capability to store the genetic information for different processes like development, reproduction, structure, functions. Okay, in all the living cell of an organism. Okay, now we will see the next point, that is about the replication. Okay, it should have a property of replication and that should be accurate. Okay, that is accurate replication. So the genetic material should have the power to possess a accurate replication. Okay, why it is necessary that it should have an accurate replication? So that the genetic material which is there in the parent will transfer to the daughter cell, or we can say to the progeny. Okay, so why this replication, accurate replication is there? So that the genetic information which is moving from that is parent to progeny, okay, or we can say the daughter cell, that should be same in case of both. From parent to progeny, the transfer of information will be the information or the genetic information should be similar. Okay, so this is the second point regarding replication. Now third is transcription. Okay, and that this transcription, that should also be accurate transcription. Okay, why this transcription is needed, or why there should be why should this genetic material have this property of transcription? Because what will happen whenever there is the need of genetic information, this can be transferred to the cell. Whenever cell is needing the genetic information, it will be passed through the process of transcription. Okay, so this is the third point, that is transcription. And now next is the chemical stability. Okay, so what is this chemical stability? Means the genetic material should be physically and chemically stable. Okay, so that if suppose a genetic material will be physically and chemically stable, so what will happen? There will be no loss of information, that is information loss will not be happen. Okay, so the information, that is the chemical and the physical information, will remain intact. Okay, that is there is no loss of information will take place. So these are the different point. One more point is there, that is fifth one, that is the variability. Okay, variability. Okay, this is the last point. That means what? That this genetic material, okay, they have the ability to means they should do the process of mutation and recombination. They have ability to perform or mutation and recombination. So it will lead to variation and adaptation, and further it will lead to the evolution in living organism. Okay, so this variability, that is the genetic material should be have a different variability. Okay, so these are the different points which should be present in an genetic material. Okay, so these are the characteristics which a genetic material should have. Okay, now we will see some series of experiment, okay, to prove the DNA as a genetic material, or to find out what is the genetic material in different organisms. So there were certain sets of experiment which were taken. So we will start one by one. Physical and biological evidences to prove DNA as genetic material. To prove that DNA is the genetic material. Okay, so now we will start with the first experiment. Okay, so this experiment was performed by a scientist called as Griffith. Okay, so in 1928, a scientist Frederick Griffith, okay, what he has performed some experiment. Okay, so what are the things, or what he has done in its experiment is that, first of all, he has taken a bacteria, that is a bacterial stain, that is Diplococcus pneumoniae. Okay, so he has taken the Diplococcus pneumoniae, this bacterial, and what it has a two type of strain. Okay, first strain is smooth, or this is also called as virulent, smooth and virulent strain. Okay, and the next strain is rough or a virulent strain. Okay, so these are the two strains of this Diplococcus pneumonia. Okay, so now what will happen, we will see what is the difference between the smooth and virulent, why this is called as a smooth and why this is called as a rough. So why? Because here is the presence of a smooth polysaccharide capsule, okay, or shiny polysaccharide capsule is present, okay, in this smooth stain, okay. And in case of this rough stain, the shiny or this polysaccharide capsule, shiny polysaccharide capsule, it is absent in case of the rough or a virulent stain, okay. And what does what will happen if this means this capsule, this has presence of polysaccharide capsule, it doesn't have, so what will happen, it will lead to cause pneumonia, okay. It causes pneumonia, this smooth or the virulent state, and this do not cause pneumonia, okay. So no pneumonia in case of this virulent stain, okay. So these are the property which are there in the smooth and the rough stain, okay. So now what is done in the experiment, okay. Now further what happened, now this Griffith has taken a stain, it is that is virulent stain, okay. Now it is injected into a mice, okay. So this stain is injected into a mice, and what will happen, the mice die, okay. It died because it is a virulent stain. Now what will happen, now this R stain, which is a virulent stain, okay, it is now insert or inject into a mice. What will happen, the mice, it dies because of the pneumonia, okay, because mice died because of pneumonia. But in case of this stain, that is R stain, when it is injected into the mice did not die, or it does not have no illness, okay. No illness is seen in this case. Why? Because it does not have any pneumonia, and it is, we can say, healthy. This mice is healthy, okay. Now next what will happen, in third case, what he has done, the Griffith has heat killed this stain, S stain, okay. What he have done, he has put this S stain, that is virulent stain, to the heat, okay, at 60 degrees C. He had heated this stain, and what will happen now, this has killed, by heat this stain is killed, okay. Now what is taken in the next step, this S stain is, now he has taken the mixture of both, that is he has now inject this heat kill S stain into a mice, and what will happen, mice do not die, okay, it will be healthy. So it is an healthy mice and no pneumonia is seen, okay. Now after that, mixture of both the stain is taken, okay, that is the mixture of both the stains are taken, that is this heat kill S stain, okay, that is the heat kill S stain is taken along with this R stain, that is the virulent stain, okay, this R stain. And what is the result? It is found that the mice has died, okay, mice died because of the pneumonia. The mice has pneumonia, okay, and the mice died, okay. So why the mice has died, even this SV or the smooth or the virulent stain is heat killed, okay. So now further, this Griffith has concluded that there is, now what had happened, there might be some factor which is responsible for transforming the R, that is a virulent strain, into a virulent strain. Okay, so further what Griffith has concluded that there might be some factor in this heat killed H stain which is transforming the R, or that is the rough stain. Okay, so there might be some factor or some principle within this that is causing the mice to die. Okay, so what he had, this effect is called as Griffith effect. Griffith effect or bacterial transformation. Bacterial transformation. Okay, so what is this? That is the heat kill H stain. They have some factors which is transforming the R virulent strain into the S virulent strain. Okay, and this effect is known as Griffith effect and or bacterial transformation. Okay, but what happened in this experiment, Griffith can't give the factor which is responsible for transformation. He can't explain why the transformation occur or what is the molecule or the factors which is causing the transformation. Okay, so after that, in 1944 there were different set of scientists. They have performed a different experiment to prove that what is the transforming principle in the Griffith experiment. Okay, so in 1944 the different scientists, that is Avery, MacLeod and McCarthy. Okay, so what these three scientists, now they have worked on to finding out what was the transforming principle in case of Griffith experiment. Okay, so now what they have done, they have used certain set of enzymes. Okay, now they are, first they have used DNase, second RNase, and third one is protein, or we can say trypsin or chymotrypsin. Okay, so what are the functions of these three enzymes, or what they are going to do in the experiment? Okay, so let us first start with DNase. What this DNase will do, they will hydrolyze the DNA. Okay, so this enzyme DNA, it will hydrolyze or depolymerize, or we can say degrade the DNA. Okay, likewise same, what this RNase will do, it will depolymerize the RNA, or we can say degrade the RNA. Now next is this trypsin and chymotrypsin. These are the enzymes. What will they do? They will hydrolyze the proteins. Okay, hydrolyze proteins. Okay, now these three enzymes and their function. Now what are their function? Now the experiment. Now they have performed certain set of experiment. So what is that? In first set of experiment, what they have taken, they have taken the R and the S strain of the Diplococcus pneumoniae, which was used by the Frederick in his experiment. So first they have taken the S strain, that is the virulent strain. Okay, now what they have done, they have treat it with the enzyme, that is the DNase. Okay, now treating it with the DNase, what will happen? Now the DNA of this S strain will get depolymerized or degraded. So what will happen? Now this here DNA get depolymerized or DNA gets degraded. Okay, now here DNA is not intact. Now what will happen? Now after to this they have added, now to this that is to the S stain of degraded DNA, they have added the R stain. Now they have added the R stain, that is the avirulent stain. Now what will happen? It will get converted into, after addition of this addition, okay, here R stain is added. What will happen? Now this R stain is converted to the S, that is the virulent stain. Okay, S stain, that is the virulent stain. It will convert it into virulent stain. Okay, so this is the first step of their experiment. Now next is they has taken the S stain. Now this is a virulent stain. What will happen? They are treating it with the RNase. Okay, now what the RNase enzyme is doing? It is depolymerizing the RNA or degrading the RNA. So what will happen? It will only degrade the DNA part of this stain. Now RNA is intact. So what will happen? Now here DNA is intact. Okay, here DNA is not degraded. So after to this there is addition of R stain as similar like in the first case. Okay, now this R stain is added. Now what will happen? It will, here it will not, means here DNA is intact, so R stain is converted into S stain, virulent stain. Here R stain is not converted into S stain because DNA is not intact, so this R stain is not converted into the S stain. Okay, it will remain same, means no infection of pneumonia. Okay, so after that in this third case, what is there? This S stain, that is a virulent stain, it is treated with any enzyme, that is trypsin or chymotrypsin, which will hydrolyze the protein. Okay, so suppose here trypsin is added, what it will do? It will kill the means the DNA remain intact, similar as in the above case. Okay, so DNA is intact, so means what will happen? This, suppose we added now R stain, that is a virulent stain. What will happen? It will get converted into an S stain, that is into the virulent stain. Okay, so by seeing the three reactions, okay, it is proved that suppose if DNA is not intact, okay, so there is no infection is seen, or the R stain, a virulent stain, is not changing to the virulent. But in the second case, here DNA is intact, so this R stain is converted to S stain and it is causing infection. Okay, and in the third case, by treating with trypsin, only protein will get degraded and DNA remain intact, and so this R stain is converted into S. So from this above reactions, from this above state, this scientist has proved that the transforming principle is the DNA. So from this experiment, it is proved that the transforming principle is DNA in the Griffith experiment. Okay, so this is the second experiment which proves that DNA is the genetic material. Now we will see the third experiment. So now we will move to the third experiment. Okay, so this is the experiment which is known as Blender's experiment. Okay, this experiment was performed by two scientists, that is Hershey and Chase. Okay, now in this experiment, why it is called as Blender experiment? Because they have used a kitchen warring blender in their experiment. So what is done in this experiment? They have used T2 bacteriophage, okay, or we can say phage. What is a phage or a bacteriophage? It is a virus that will infect the bacterium. Okay, and they have the two radioactive isotopes, that is one of phosphor, that is PO4 32 and SO4 35. Okay, so these are the two isotopes which were used in the experiment. So what is the first step of the experiment? Firstly, and they were the E. coli. There were two cultures were taken of E. coli. Okay, so firstly there will two culture were taken of Escherichia coli. So one is with, that is P35 isotope is put in this medium, and here this is P32 and this is S35. So these isotopes were put into this plates of the medium. Okay, and on this the bacteriophage is allowed to grow. Okay, so these two phages were allowed to grow on this separate medium. What will happen? So the phage DNA, they have the presence of phosphorus, and in phage protein sulfur is present. Okay, so what will happen? This phosphate will get incorporated into the DNA or the genetic material of the phage, and this sulfur will form the protein coat of this bacteriophage, means the outside of this phage. Okay, now what will happen? Now this phages, the one is labeled with P32 and other is labeled with the S35. Now what had happened? Now this bacteriophage is allowed to infect means they were going in a medium containing this radioactive isotope. Okay, now what happened after growing on this medium? Now this phages were put on a, that is blending is done of this the progeny of this phages, their blending is done. After blending, as soon as the progeny releases, the blending is done. After that blending, then centrifugation is done. Okay, centrifugation process occurs. So what will happen during this centrifugation process? It was found that the bacteriophage, they are having in their DNA, means they have the presence of this phosphate in the phages, but this sulfur, radioactive sulfur, is not found in that medium. Okay, during centrifuge, like this tube were taken. Okay, so in phage there is presence of this radioactive phosphate, but this sulfur is present at the surrounding. Okay, so what happened? And by this, after the progeny of this phages, now the progeny of this phages taken, and what had happened? They had found that the progeny of the phages, they only have presence of radioactive phosphorus or phosphate. Okay, P32. Okay, this progeny is not showing any radioactive sulfur. Okay, so from this experiment it is proved that DNA is the genetic material, okay, which is incorporated during which is DNA is the genetic material, and it had transferred from this bacteria to phage, and after phage to their progeny. So DNA is the transforming principle or the genetic material which is moving from parent to the progenies, phage progeny. Okay, thank you.